happens is people don't learn the lesson. So what happens? They go from one shitty relationship to the next without understanding, well, what was the lesson? Why are you getting another loser that you already probably just broke up with? Or they go from one business, they self-sabotage. Why? Because they never understood what was their programming. What was it that
Welcome
makes
to
them
Detox with Dina and Friends. I'm your host, Dina Theodora, singer, songwriter, and actor. My aim for this podcast is to empower, motivate, and inspire you.
Thank you to Vasanti Cosmetics for sponsoring this episode. Head over to vasanticosmetics.ca for luxury, high-performance cosmetics and skincare. Make sure to use promo code DINA10 for 10% off all online products.
We are with the amazing Coach Sonia in Montreal, all the way from Toronto. I'm so excited to be here. And a little bit about Sonia. She is a renowned coach. She has her own tribe team, social media management. You tell us a little bit about what you do and everything in between.
I'm so happy. I just, everything for her is yes. So everything for her is yes. Everything for your audience is yes. The most simplest thing that I do is I impact. I'm about giving back to other people. I'm about bringing women to their true essence, about empowering them to be their best version of themselves, whether it's the best version of their mom, whether it's their best body, whether it's their best mindset, relationships, and business. I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I have online courses, I have a phenomenal tribe media team, and I just love to impact, and I love to use my platform to be able to elevate and to just bring epic people together.
That's amazing. Sonia, I just want to commend you for all the work that you do, everything that you bring, the energy, the consistency, the passion. And I just really, I want to know a little bit about some of the things that you went through and how the coaching started aside from all the other things that you do.
So the coaching came, it's a really good question. The coaching came, I think every single coach becomes a coach because we need coaching ourselves. Right? My background's in fashion. I was raised in the fashion industry. I started working at the age of 8 where I would go into our family business. We owned Guess Jeans at the time. We had Guess for all of Canada. So I know fashion from A to Z, inside and out, from everything from customer acquisition, bringing in brands, marketing those brands across Canada, sales distribution, and then we started acquiring more and more and more brands. So my background's in fashion. But however, I grew up and I didn't want to just go into family business right away. I wanted to find what was my essence and what was my why. So what happened was I wrote my last exam in university and I said, I'm out. I'm moving to LA. And I moved. I literally wrote my last exam. I told my dad, listen, I don't want to go into the family business. I want to go and discover what it is that makes me tick. Wow. I was really into fitness. I was a certified personal trainer, a nutritionist. I was doing music videos. I was doing acting stuff. So I knew the stage was really something that I loved to play with. And I needed to go out and see. So I was scouted on a great show in LA, and I said yes. I just said yes. And, you know, a really great moment for your audience to probably take out of this is just to start saying yes, right? So because everybody else around me in school, they were always had excuses for why they weren't going to that school or why they weren't moving or why they weren't going to go big in their life. And I decided not to be that. And I decided to just say yes.
And you know what? It's so important that you just mentioned that because so many people are not ready to use that go mentality. They just to say yes to something and to commit to it and to just go full force.
Yeah, I love life. Like I'm someone who I get off on life. I live it to the ultimate moment. I create what I cook in my head and I want to live it. I want to experience it and I want to inspire other people to experience it. So that being said, when that opportunity came for me to go to LA, I said yes and I was on the flight literally the next day.
And so what happened at that stage when you went back?
Yeah. So cut to, I get to LA and I think it's for acting. I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then I realized I'm like, well, this isn't it either. And
wow.
It's so beautiful to take moments to figure it out what it is that you do want to do. You know, we go from one thing to the next and we don't really kind of go back and just go into stillness and quietness and go, well, what makes my heart shine? What do I want? Why do I want to do this? what's the big game that I want to play in my life? And for me, LA was a great moment for me to just reflect on me, on the core of me, the essence of me. So that being said, I realized it wasn't just the acting. It was, yes, the stage, but I had work to do, right? So I went into deep personal development. I discovered Landmark, and I was like, you know what? Maybe there's something wrong with me. I was like, I need to figure myself out. And I went hard into personal development, and I went all the way to the trainer. Then I did the Tony Robbins, the NLP. Like, I really wanted to understand behavior. I wanted to really impact on a higher level and become a coach and a speaker that walks the talk.
Yes.
And I fell in love with it, and I fell in love with the stage. And at 26 years old, I was coaching, making phenomenal money and speaking all over the U.S. and really speaking and shifting people.
Amazing.
That to me was such important work when you actually start to really move people.
Wow. Would you say that you faced, apart from the passion and the excitement of it all, that there was challenges that you had to overcome or go through, and how you were able to overcome them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think challenges and struggles and hardships and that's the beauty of life. Like, that's what makes you hard. That's what makes you strong. That's what makes you kind. That's what makes you uncomfortable, sad, like all of it. You can't look at anybody that's done anything in a big way and think that they haven't struggled. They probably struggled the most, and I know I really did, because I never fit in. I was always the outcast. People always told me, must be nice. How do you have so much energy? How do you do this? And I just felt completely not understood. I loved so much, and then you get hurt. Or, I lost my mom 4 years ago, and that breaking point of me losing my mom to cancer, and with my having 2 kids, well, at that point I was pregnant with my second, but I had my daughter and my 3 stepsons, and I was like, if I can go through that, there's nothing I can't go through.
Wow.
Nothing. Once you deal with loss of your heart, then everything else is like, really? You think this is going to affect me?
You've been through it all.
You think this negative comment, or you think this no, or you think this failed thing, now it's just not.
So any challenges you just were able to go through? Obviously, things were a little bit more difficult with everything that you experienced at the time. And with that, you were able to find a way to get through it.
Yeah, I coach. This is what I do for a living, is I get people through it. And there's ways. You create a new identity for yourself. You go in and you feel what it feels, and then you're able to actually process it through to learn the lesson. What happens is people don't learn the lesson. So what happens? They go from one shitty relationship to the next without understanding, well, what was the lesson? Why are you getting another loser that you already probably just broke up with? Or they go from one business, they self-sabotage. Why? Because they never understood what was their programming. What was it that makes them self-sabotage? What is it that is playing in the background telling you, you're not good enough, you're not going to make it, money doesn't buy you happiness? They never understood what are those limiting beliefs. So until you actually do the work, you're gonna reoccur these same patterns over and over. So for me,
amazing.
I go through, obviously as a coach, but to myself too. It's like, now it's a game. It's like, how big can I go?
Oh, wow.
How, it excites me. Fear excites me. The unknown excites me. It turns me on. Let's play. I'm not... Yeah.
You just go for it and just get it done. And no matter what life throws at you, you just find a way and you get through and you have that perseverance. Yes. What would you say in terms of, since we're on the topic of right now, women specifically, empowering women, what is your sense of empowerment towards women, your definition of it in all the work that you do?
I think that's a word that's been so spoken about, but so few actually are about it. What it is to empower other women is this. I don't know what these questions are. I don't care where this is going. I'm about supporting you because I'm your friend. So I'm going to do whatever it is that you want.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And then you will, through this gift, through this coming together, we might empower one woman that's going to say, I needed to hear that. I needed this. This is lighting me up. I did my job. I'm good. But what we have to come together is understand that there is nothing stronger than women coming together to help.
Exactly.
So if you're in this scarcity mindset of like, oh no, I'm not going to share my platform because you might take, or oh no, I'm not going to share my business because I might have less of.
Yes.
People coming together can only grow. And if you can understand and be about what you actually speak about, and if you can truly be a woman that is about bringing others and elevating them without thinking, well, what am I going to get from this? And how's this going to work for me? And how's it? Not about that. Like, we have to understand the why. The why I do it is I want to lead the next generation of superheroes. I'm obsessed with it. I want my daughters to not be checking out, the TikTok No. How are you going to lead the next generation? How are you going to speak words of positivity about your sisters, about your best friends, about other women? And how are we as a collective going to show it's not about us? There's so much, at one point, it's not about the money anymore. You can buy all the stuff you can. It's not about that. Now it's about an elevation of a collective of women who actually stand for their values and who are educating other women, inspiring them, and leading by example. That to me is an actual empowering.
You heard it from Sonia. Women empowering women and coming together as women to really bring out the best in one another. So now for our little relationships.
Yes,
Let's talk a little
relationships.
bit about relationships and advice for all you guys and girls out there. What is your definition of a healthy relationship?
Okay, I love this so much because that's just my definition. Let's give them all their definition. I'll tell you my definition after.
Yeah.
But this is the most important work that you can do in relationships. And it's funny because before COVID, my coaching would probably be 70% business. I know how to scale businesses. I do this in my sleep. It's what I do. During COVID and post-COVID, I'm like 50-50. Relationship, business. Because what ends up happening is once your relationships breaks down, you cannot actually go through and execute the game plan on your business because your mind is constantly going to go, but what's happening at home? But what's happening at home? But what's happening at home? So this type of work is actually the number one important work that you can do. The first thing that you have to do is actually tell yourself, well, what is my definition of that ideal person that I want to manifest into my life? If you don't know it, it's not going to show up. I just want a great guy. Trust me, there's a lot of great guys out there. There really is. And if you don't think so, there's a lot of great guys. But what's going to make it the epic guy for you? What's going to make it that you're going to actually match and you're actually going to grow more of? Yes. The number one thing you do, you have to work on yourself. If you don't work on yourself and you're looking for somebody to complete you, somebody to make you more whole, it's not the way to do it. Be whole. Know exactly what you bring to the table and speak the words of what you bring to the table. Because then it's going to be so clear to know exactly what that person needs to bring to your table again. Wow. So for me, what's my ideal relationship? I love power couple. That's what I'm into. I love people that you're gonna, and I love power relationships, friendships. What can we create together? What can we do together? How can we support each other? Again, your relationship, your romantic relationship, should be run like your other relationships. It's what can we bring to the table to elevate the other person and elevate yourself? And together, you grow even more.
Exactly. Well said. I love that. Bringing out each other's goodness. Any sort of red flags that you would, mention for women out there that are stuck in something where they don't know whether to leave, whether to stay? What are your major red flags?
Look at the butt. He's great, but I like him, but. And at first, when you first start dating, you trust your intuition. It's we almost want to put the intuition beside because for some reason, women think they're going to change men. I don't know where you learned this. You're not going to change them.
Yeah.
Stop trying to change everybody. You're not going to change him. If he's great, but he's lazy, he's going to be lazy. And you're going to break up with him because he's lazy. He's great, but he's whatever, or jealous. He's going to still be jealous. So instead of building this whole fairy tale thing around this guy and forgetting about the butt, tell yourself, hold on a second. What if this is really the guy? Know who you marry. This is it. actually look at who's in front of you, not this romanticized thing of, yeah, he's really great, he's got great potential. Don't marry for potential, because you're going to be losing your mind going, I knew it. So trust the intuition, trust the intuition. And then really realize, hold on, can I live with that butt? Is that a non-negotiable for me? And if you can't, get out.
There you go.
That's it.
You have to pay attention to those things. No matter how long or short you've been with the person, you really have to just put that aside and not fear, where am I going to be if I'm not with that? Where am I going to be if I'm not with this? Right?
And I think a really great point, so these are for single ladies, but let's say for your married ladies, like, know who you married again. Like, this is who you're with. Stop bitching about, you know who he is. This is it. So how can you live your life around it? How can you make it a better thing instead of just obsessing about the one thing that you're just not going to change? Maybe he is lazy. Cool. What can we do to achieve the outcomes and the goals that you want, knowing that you're with a lazy guy? Or speak it to another reality. Call it something else.
There you go. Now, some exciting projects that you can mention. Back to Sonia on...
You mean today, tomorrow?
My
team's
we have
like...
so many things. Any specific upcoming things that you're excited to kind of mention that you're working on?
Yes, experiences. Okay. I have been living a year and a half of Zoom conferences, of Zoom speeches, of Zoom, online. The world is, we're fast. Like, my whole team, my whole brand is about connecting to our audience and understanding what their needs are. And my audience is telling me, and we're telling them, we want to play. We want to experience. We want to come out. We want live events again. We want to travel again. We want to really activate the community. So look at activations. Look at us playing a lot, enjoying a lot, impacting tons, and bringing so much value to our clients and being the fastest and just coming from a space of like, how can we create the most epic life for our clients, for our audience, and for you, and for you.
I love it. So any advice that you have for women getting involved in your space or just in general in their business, starting a business, and just being empowered through that?
Sure. So how to start a business? Go to my website, coachsonia.com, download one thing. It's free. It's my gift. It's called a business plan. It's the most important thing. You need to know what you're doing. You need to have a plan. Stop speaking about it and actually be about it. And tell yourself, what's one thing that I can do today that's going to move my business forward, that's going to move my relationship forward, that's going to move my body forward. So whatever it is that you're looking at in terms of your goals, and I'm writing my book right now and it's almost done. Yeah, it's literally taking you step by step.
Yep.
But whatever it is that you want out of your goal, whether it's your mindset, work on your mindset first, whether it's your relationships, your body, or your business, what I want you to tell yourself is, I want you to take some time for you to be able to be really intentional about the game plan that you're going to create. And then I want you to actually start planning your week, okay? Because without a plan, you're just going to wing it. And then this week is going to be the same as next week, is going to be the same as next week. So how do we start? The morning. You start your morning, you start it with your intention.
Nice.
What is one step you could do today to be able to move your business and your life forward?
Perfect. I love that. Structure, right? Having structure and consistency.
Yes.
All right, would you say there's any organizations or charities in Montreal or greater area that you really love, that you want to talk about, that you take part in?
Yeah, I'm so into charity. You know what? I'm so into charity and so into giving back. And I think that the best way to do it is really to go within and understand, like, what is it that's touching you? You know, of course, for me, obviously, I always give to my community. I always give to cancer because my mom was affected by cancer. I give to small businesses. I give to things that are really touching to me. But what I want to turn it back is to your audience and to say, how can I serve? And if you have of money, give your money. If you have of time, give your time. If you have of network, give your network. I feel like charity and giving back is something that's so tied to financials. And people, especially now, it's a time where money's tighter, where finances are tighter. But don't just see it as finance. See it as community. Maybe there's a phone call you can make to help a charity. Maybe there's a network that you can do. Maybe there's a GoFundMe page that you can start for a family in need. So really just go within and help It doesn't matter how you do it, how much you give and whatever, but if you make your life about service, the impact that you're going to do in the world is truly going to be so special, and that's where full gratitude and contribution comes to your life.
And it's rewarding in giving back and being a part of that in the community, which you do. So in closing with the beautiful Sonia, if there's something that was either I think you already mentioned this, the hardest or, one of the greatest things that you've learned in your success in your coaching, what would that be?
The greatest success that I've learned is to enjoy the journey. Like, live the ride. It's gonna be bumpy, it's gonna be shitty, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna knock you down, but it's also gonna be magical, it's gonna be epic. There's gonna be moments every single day that you're gonna go, wow. So stop and just enjoy it. Don't just live it of like, tomorrow's gonna be that and the day after that. No, like now, right now, what are you enjoying? How are you grateful? This is the life, not what's gonna happen in 5 years. It's gonna happen, but live it today and just like ride it out and play big.
That's it.
Give it all you got.
Give it, guys, give it. All right, and now, if there's anything that you could change, would you go back? Would you restructure
No.
anything? Everything is as it is.
No, because this is it.
Yep.
I don't go with regret and I don't go back.
Yes.
I never do. I learn the lessons. What you have to tell yourself is all of this is never to go into guilt, to never, have I made mistakes? We could go hours on the mistakes I've made, but I don't call them mistakes. They're learnings. They're beautiful opportunity for me to stretch myself and learn. So there is nothing, not one thing that I would do, including the mistakes and when I failed and when I messed up and go, wow, that was not ideal, right?
They're all a part of the journey. No matter sometimes what you go through, you think it's, the worst thing, or you don't want to talk about that part of your past. But then you realize if it wasn't for certain things that happened, whether it was accidental or not, they really impacted who you are today and brought you to where you are.
Yes.
That's impactful on its own. Well, I want to leave our listeners and viewers to get to know where they can find you, and if you could tell us about your links and social media.
Yeah, absolutely. My go-tos is Instagram. That's where I activate with my community. I do a lot of stories. I take you behind the scenes because to me, it's about showing the journey. It's going to be good. It's going to be cute. It's going to be not so cute. There's going to be kids. There's going to be fun. There's going to be work. There's going to be it all. And I think that by creating an authentic platform, that's where you can really connect. So for me on Instagram, it's at Sonia Zarbatany, which is my name. And then online with everything to do with my media, with the online courses, with the world of, it's CoachSonia.com. Thank you.
With that, I want to give a big
Thank you,
hug
honey.
and thank you for such a beautiful, beautiful session. Mwah.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you to Vasanti Cosmetics for sponsoring this episode. Head over to vasanticosmetics.ca for luxury, high-performance cosmetics and skincare. Make sure to use promo code DINA10 for 10% off all online products.
Thanks again for joining in. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment below. Make sure to also find us on Instagram at Detox with Dina and my personal page at Dina Theodora. Stay tuned and catch you next time.